What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Happy Friday. It might be Saturday wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the channel, Ron Harris Muscle. Going to talk today about Chris Bumstead doing the EVLS Prague show as an open bodybuilder and his toughest competition as we know it right now. And I know there's other people in the show he's up against, but we have Martin Fitzwater, who was fourth place at the Olympia a few weeks ago. And we have Shaun Clarida, who has been a 212 Olympia champion and has also won an open show. He won the Legion Sports Show a couple of years back. So it's not going to be easy for Chris. Also, we have Akim Williams and Horse MD going in, who are very good. Plus, we have no idea. Rafael Brandao, so far he said he's only doing Romania Muscle Fest, which is the week before. But you know how plans change and athletes can change their minds. He might end up going up against Rafael. But right now, we're just going to focus on the guys we're certain are going up against him. So I want to take a look with you guys at this. We can watch this together, and I want to get your opinions. We're going to look at some comparisons between Chris Bumstead and Martin Fitzwater. These are virtual comparisons, and keep in mind, these are pictures of Chris Bumstead as he appeared at the last Olympia at 242 pounds. He will be bigger and fuller. I'm guessing he's going to be about 10 pounds fuller, similar condition. If not the same condition, it's not going to be much worse. I believe he's probably in great condition at about 252, 253, 4, something like that at about a month or 5 weeks before the Olympia. Because if you follow Bumstead's updates, he's in shape far ahead of schedule, but we don't know exactly what he weighs. My guess is that he sort of has to deplete down to get down to 242 for Classic. Now he has none of that to worry about. So let's look at this first one. This is front double bicep. Martin's got better arms. We know this. He's got better legs. He's a thicker guy. He's shorter. Martin's about 5'6", maybe closer to 5'7". Bumstead is 6'1" and a little change, I believe, a little bit more than that. In this pose, I actually give this. It's a great shot, and I love Bumstead in this shot, but I give this one to Martin. Just better legs, better taper, better arms. It's a front double bicep, and we're looking at the biceps. Let me know what you guys think in the chat here. But I would give this one to Martin. Overall, spoiler alert, I'm really thinking Martin's going to beat him. However, I would not be totally shocked if that's if Chris ends up winning. So here's a front lat spread. This to me is Chris's best shot along with his side chest. It's a crazy good shot for Chris. Right here, I give it to Martin just based on the overall fullness. However, Chris, with this condition or close to it and 10 pounds more fullness, I would probably give the shot to Bumstead in that case. So anticipating that's what we're going to see. And Chris, yeah, look at those lats. Look at that waist. I think in Prague with another 10 pounds of fullness over what we saw in Vegas for Bumstead's 6th win, I do think I'm going to give the shot to him. Okay, that's first two poses. Let's go to the next two poses. Side chest, this is a money shot for Chris. I think Chris beats most open bodybuilders in the side chest. That being said, Martin looks very, very thick and complete here. I like Chris's side leg in this shot better, honestly. Even though Martin has great legs, Chris has some great detail and striations and splits there from the side. And look at that chasm there between the quads and the hams. They both have great side chests. I think I would give this one a Bumstead even there. Rear lat spreads, the back shots. Here's where things get more interesting. Martin's got a much thicker back than Chris. Chris's back is better than it used to be. It's still nowhere near as good as Martin's. Martin's back blows his away in thickness and density. I give this shot all day long to Martin Fitzwater. The legs from the back, the glutes, everything's just more developed on Martin. Martin's got crazy deep striations, splits between those different heads of the hamstrings, the semimembranosus, semitendinosus, all that good stuff. I give this shot to Martin, and we're going to go to the rear lat spread next, I believe. But it's no surprise, just based on the difference in the development, it's probably going to be his all day. Yeah, lat spread, I give the lat spread again to Martin. It's so much more impressive. Chris's back shots, they're good. Don't get me wrong, but they're not as good as Martin's. And Martin almost beat Derek Lunsford, who has some of the best back shots in bodybuilding in the past 10 years. Derek Lunsford's rear double biceps and rear lat spread are phenomenal. And Martin was hanging with him on those shots. So that tells you something. Chris, this is would say a weak point, but his back shots are not a strong point. Now we go to the side tricep. So this is kind of tough because Chris doesn't hit it in the traditional way that Martin does. Martin's hitting it here in the traditional bodybuilding style, where your leg is to the side. Chris has his leg angled to the front. It's very hard to compare. Right here where you see all that detail in the midsection with Chris, you're tempted to give him this shot. However, if Chris is hitting the shot the way Martin is, I'm not sure Chris is going to be able to take him in that shot. It's tough. It's tough. Like I said, when we see these guys together, it's going to be a whole different story. All right. And last but not least, did we already look at that one? I'm sorry. Here we go. Okay. So ab and thigh. Martin Fitzwater all day. I mean, those quads are crazy. Chris has really good legs, really good midsection, but Martin just destroys him in this shot. I'm sorry. And I'm a huge Martin fan. I'm sorry, I'm a huge Bumstead. I'm a fan of both of these guys. I get accused of being a fanboy, but you know what? I'm a fan of all the guys. They all work so hard. They work so hard. They all deserve our respect and fandom. Of course, Chris is the most popular competitor on the planet. 25 million followers on IG. Most muscular, all day Martin. So much thicker and denser. He makes Chris look small in this shot. Chris is not a small guy. But Martin Fitzwater here in that most muscular is so thick and dense. Those striations across the chest. Just delts are more developed. Quads are more developed. It's a most muscular shot. It's about freaky mass and definition. Martin is displaying that perfectly here. Chris looks good. Of course, Chris can hit the crab here. He never really hit the crab in Classic. I imagine he probably will. It's too bad we don't have anything with them together like that. Now, other guy is Shaun Clarida. Shaun posted this on his Instagram the other day. It's going to go there in a second. This was a fan or somebody made this. So this was Shaun from the last Olympia where he was a little downsized, a little flat. I know he's ripping right through these poses very quickly. So I'm just going to put on a loop so we can talk about it. And yeah, I got the loop on. Yeah, I mean, I think Shaun's going to have a hard time beating them, even though Shaun has a chance to fill out, just like Chris does. Shaun's going to be fuller, bigger and fuller than he was at the Olympia. I have no doubt about that, but so is Chris. The reason I tend to strongly favor Bumstead against Shaun is just the clavicle width difference. Shaun has a lot of muscle on his frame. There's no doubt about that. His clavicles, these are just bones. You can't do anything about the clavicles. Shots like that front lat spread, he looks half the width of Bumstead. The double bicep, the same thing. He's just not very wide across from left to right. And that's just purely genetic bone structure. Not to say that Shaun won't beat him in some shots. Back shots are a good example. I think Shaun actually will beat him in the back shots. Chris doesn't have a great back shots. He doesn't. So let's go to the other one. This was one I saw on YouTube that somebody made, which shows Clarida. This is going to show Clarida as he looked the year before when he was much bigger and fuller. So this is a more fair comparison between the two because Shaun's going to be filled out. Of course, it's not fair to Chris because he's not filled out here, but this is the Shaun that we're used to seeing, the much bigger, fuller version. And you can see mass-wise, he's a bigger man, pound for pound. If they were the same height, Shaun would outweigh him. If Shaun was close to 6'2", like Chris is, I have no doubt in my mind Shaun would have a good 10 to 20 pounds on him. But of course, Shaun is 5'2" on a good day. I think he's more like 5'1". 174 at this last Olympia. I believe here he was closer to 185. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm wrong all the time, as you know in the comments. Yeah, his back is a lot thicker and denser. Bumstead's got great back width, but there's just not a lot of thickness in his lats. Compared to how they were in the chest, I could say the same thing. Chris's chest looks great in the side chest shot. In the front shots, not as thick. I mean, not compared to someone like Shaun, who's just a tank. Clarida is like a muscular tank. He's a ball of muscle. I don't know if he's going to be able to recapture this look. He will have had 4 weeks, a full 4 weeks, was it 5 weeks, between the Olympia and Prague. So I do expect to see Shaun close to this size and fullness, if not exceeding it. Or I'm saying, if he's not there, he's going to be very close to it. Bumstead, we have no idea. We've never seen Chris Bumstead at 250 to 255 pound range, as I believe we will see at this Prague show. I think he's going to be a full 10 or 12 pounds up, because he depletes to get down to 242. It's been tough for him the past couple of years to get down to that weight. He's a young guy. He's 29 years old. He's fully capable of adding more muscle tissue, but he couldn't because he had that weight cap that he had to be a concern with in Classic. So, all right. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's go to the phones, as we say. Thomas Dietz, thank you. You remember some of the articles? Yeah. I've been published since 1992, Thomas. So the OGs out there, if you read my articles back then, appreciate you. Joshua B. Toke, it's open CBum camper and great volume to open guides about lineup. Martin still is better. Yeah, Joshua, I tend to lean toward Martin winning this. The only X factor in this conversation is that we've never seen Bumstead without the weight cap, without the restriction. And we're going to see that this time. So I believe it's 5 weeks they had between the shows. I really should have figured this out ahead of time. All right, so the Olympia was the 12th. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's a full 5 weeks that Chris will have had between Olympia and Prague. Same thing with Martin. Same thing with Shaun. Martin was at his best weight for the Olympia. Martin looked awesome. I'll put him up while we're talking. What the heck? I want to give him his props. I think he's an incredible competitor. I think he's a future Olympia. Certainly has the goods to be Mr. Olympia in the future. The chest detail is impressive. Chris not complete enough to beat Martin. Yeah, it's the back shots. If I was, rooting strongly for Chris to win, which it's not to say that I'm not. I'm rooting for all the guys. I'd be very happy for anybody who wins the show. Believe me, these guys all work their asses off. But I think the back shots is where Martin. I believe Martin is about 235 at 5. If I'm a little under 5'8" now, I think Martin's like 5'6". Kane says the real question is who wins the glute spread. Ooh, no glute spread. I think I get that reference. Yeah. Okay. Martin's really impressive rear delt bicep. Made Chris go win on being complete, but not having any overwhelming parts. Well, the thing is Martin is complete and doesn't have any overwhelming parts. I mean, he's got amazing legs, he's got a great back, but he's thick everywhere. If you could, make anything a little better on Martin, it'd probably make his arms a little bit better. They're pretty damn good right now. I think a little more size in his arms, he'd be even more impressive. They're pretty darn good. I don't think there's any argument. His legs are awesome. It's going to be a great, great show. Chris will volume on the conditioning and more push likely. I'm not really sure what that meant. Josh, I think people forgot who it. Shaun's a giant killer. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I didn't forget. I didn't forget who he is. Let me see if I have anything with those two. I think I had so much stuff, so many clips loaded from the Olympia. I think I had to get rid of some of them because they were like clogging up my computer. No, I have Keon routine. Yeah, I don't have anything with him. I'm sorry. I'll put Bumstead up while we're talking, though, after Martin. Let's go to leave Bumstead up while we're talking for a second there. All right, so this is the Olympia. Side chest pose of Chris Insane. I think it's damn near perfect. I think in that side chest, like I said, he beats 90% of open bodybuilders, just the way he was in Classic, which was flat. I think he said he was always flat when he competes. He has to be to make weight. So we've never seen a really bursting full Bumstead. So yeah, look at that. Look at that side chest. Imagine that with another 10 pounds of fullness, rounder and fuller. It's going to be crazy. Clarida was 175 at this O. He posted after weigh-ins. Well, I said 174. I was only off by a pound, Kane. Give me a little break. Come on. But if he was 175 at this Olympia, what was he last year? I think he was about 185. He was about Did he say he was only a couple pounds difference? Because I think it was closer to 10 pounds between last year and this year. He was over dieted. He was small this year compared to his usual self. Condition was crazy, but he was small, guys. It wasn't. Let's find his routine. Actually, I'll find it on his Instagram. We'll go to his Instagram. What the heck? I don't want to make this all about Martin and Chris, because Clarida deserves our respect. He's damn good. He's damn good. Let's go to his Insta. Find his posing routine from the Olympia. There we go. Okay. All right. Present. I got to get rid of this first. So we do it live, guys. It's live TV or live YouTube. Anybody watch TV anymore? I sure do. Okay, so this is Shaun. This is Gilco Productions. They have awesome footage. So crisp and sharp. It's always better quality than what we're able to see on the live stream, because they just have the capability to get much sharper, crisper video than the live stream cameras do. And look at that. Plus, they get on stage and they walk around the guys. Gilco does a fantastic job. Yes, this is Shaun Claria at the Olympia a few weeks back. Still thick and dense. Just a little downsized, not the giant killer that we saw the year before, who beat Keon. I'm sorry, 2 years ago he had beaten Keon, but even last year when he took second to Keon, Keon was in the show 2 years ago. When he took second to Keon in 2023, he was bigger and fuller and thicker. But this was a very good look. This was a very good look for Shaun. Yeah, as far as condition, you could see the legs were downsized. You could see overall, it just wasn't the full, thick, oh, there's his baby. It just wasn't the Shaun with the size, all the size that we're used to seeing on him. The baby again, little girl. Yeah, I mean, condition-wise, we know Shaun's going to bring the condition. So by himself in a front lat spread, you can't really. He doesn't look narrow at all, because you're just seeing him by himself. It's only when he stands next to these guys who were blessed with naturally wider clavicles. But like I said, when he's filled out, and this wasn't the filled out version, it's a much more impressive thing to look at. Yeah. Respect to Shaun, man. He's 40. Is he 42 now? 43? I know he's a couple years past 40, and things don't get easier after that, guys. They don't. It becomes a little more challenging to bring your best physique after the age of 40. But I think he's in his prime, and I'm not writing this guy off for 1 minute. And you know what? Could Shaun win? Who knows? Who knows? Stranger things have happened, guys. Stranger things have happened. Let's go back to some footage. Classic final call out. Yeah, we're Bumstead winning. What the heck? Okay. Terminator juice and smash my balls with a hammer. Oof. No, don't do that, Terminator juice. Don't do that. It does not. It just you're probably gonna destroy your testosterone production if you ever really do that. So guys, leave your testicles alone. Don't abuse your balls. Leave them alone. Chris always look flat to me. That's not as impressive. Yeah, Shaun. So I'm so happy he's doing this, just because it's similar to the situation we had with Flex Lewis all those years, where we never saw the best Flex Lewis. We saw Flex depleted to make the weight cap of 212, where he said himself many times his best look was somewhere around 226, 227, which we never got to see. We only got to see, the 212-pound version of Flex, whereas the 226-pound version of Flex, I think could have been Mr. Olympia. I mean, if Hadi could do it, if Derek could do it, and their former 212 champs, I wouldn't put it past them. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, let's go to Bumstead's IG page. What the heck? Why not? Because we're live, guys. It's Friday live. All right, let's get back to your comments. Where are we at? Dave Thomas, sure what CBum's trying to prove here? No, it will not. If he's beaten by Martin, no, this will not impact his legacy at all. If he takes second or third or fourth even. This is just something he said. He told us he's been telling us for years he was going to do this. He said, before I retire, which really means before I stop competing for good, he did retire from 212 on stage, and that was official and legitimate. He wanted to do one open show, and he always said it would be just for fun with no pressure, meaning not that he's not going to try to win. It's not like he's not going to bring his best or try to win. He's going to try his best, but if he doesn't win, I don't think he's going to cry. I don't think he's going to be upset. He's going to enjoy the experience and be happy that he did it, because if he had walked away from the stage and never tried an open show, I think he would have regrets, because it's something he always wanted to do, because we always want to see how he would look up there, especially with no weight limits. Now, this isn't the full potential of Chris. I think if Chris wanted to, if he really wanted to, he would have to up the food, up the PEDs, take a real off season. He could put on, I would guess, somewhere around another 15, 20 pounds of tissue. This is a guy still in his 20s has not been allowing his body to grow for the past few years because he had to stay at that weight cap. So I think without that restriction, and if he did those things, bump up the food, and yeah, I'm being real, bump up the doses a little bit, because I do believe Bumstead is a fairly, very, very moderate with his PED use. I don't know what he uses, but I would bet you good money it's not what you think it is. It's not a lot. So I don't think his legacy will be affected at all if he doesn't win. And let's be real, guys. If he doesn't win, which winning gives him an Olympia qualification. The Mr. Olympia has in their back pocket that special invitation option. They can always exercise that option and give out a special invitation. So they could invite Chris, or Chris could ask for an invitation, and you're out of your mind if you don't think that they would say yes to Chris Bumstead if you want to compete in the Open Mr. Olympia. It would break the internet. Their pay-per-views would double. They already sell out, so the tickets wouldn't really be impacted. They already do as well as they can on the tickets. But the pay-per-view, the people that can't get to the show in Vegas, those pay-per-view buys with Chris Bumstead in the Olympia next year would be 2, 3, maybe 10 times what they are. I guarantee you the pay-per-view buys for this Prague show in a couple weeks, they're going to be 5, 10 times what they would have been without Chris on the show. Why? Because this guy's got 26 million fans on Instagram alone. He's a household name. Everybody knows freaking CBum. So I think Gillette said he was best 260, 65. Chris Cormier, I assume you're saying 255, 260? Or are you saying Chris Bumstead would be best at 255, 260? Yeah, ultimately, I think Bumstead at 260 shredded, which would be about almost 20 pounds over this weight we're looking at right here. I think he'd be winning tons of pro shows, and he'd be top 5 at the Olympia. Would he win? I don't know. Maybe. Would he beat Samson? Would he beat Andrew? Would he beat Hottie? Derek? All those guys? I don't know. Oliver, one of my faithful viewers. Appreciate you here, Oliver. He cannot beat Martin, but I wish you'd take a couple years, put on a shit ton of mass, and then come back like the muscle Terminator. The reason I don't think he's going to do that, Oliver, is he's very, very concerned about his health. He has this kidney condition. It's genetic. It's not from PED abuse, called Berger's disease. So he has to be very, very careful with everything, the PEDs. He can't have his blood pressure up, because high blood pressure it damages your kidneys. It's the main contributor to kidney failure for a lot of bodybuilders who go into kidney failure, which from untreated high blood pressure that they had for years. So I don't see him doing that, especially because he's got a new baby daughter. He's got his wife. He's got his businesses. He's part owner in Raw Revive. He's part owner in Gymshark. His YouTube channel does fantastically. He's got his own energy drink, Bum Energy. He's got a lot of businesses going. He's making awesome money. He's still a young guy. I don't see the incentive. Sure, Olympia's probably going to be $1 million first prize within a year or two. I do see that coming. I'm pretty sure it's going to be there within a year or 2 years at the most. I believe Mr. Olympia winner will get $1 million, which, even to Chris Bumstead, who's got plenty of money, $1 million payday is damn good. I personally don't see it. So, but who knows? Who knows what he's going to decide to do? I heard that he said Shaun was 185. He meant last year. Give you a pound off on. Yeah, I think he was 185. Does anyone know exactly what he weighed last year? Some people are such sticklers. I had this guy, I don't know if he was from Iran. His name was Irfan, somewhere in the Middle East. He was hounding me, like in private messages, DMs. He wanted me to find out. He wanted me to contact Hani Rambod or Hadi. He wanted Hadi's exact height because he'd seen it listed different heights, and he needed to know exactly what it was. And I refused to help him. I ended up blocking him because he was harassing me so much. Walter Martin. Walter, man, I can't believe someone ripped they ripped the seat off your leg extension machine at your gym. Did you catch who it was? Because you said your gym is 24 hours and you were going to check the security footage. Did you find out who it was? I want to know. But okay, let's go to your question. You'll see the amount muffled per square inch between CBum and Martin. Martin will be just straight, sure. Oh yeah, Martin. In all my predictions, I've been saying Martin beats CBum. The only shots I think Bumstead's going to be comparable to him in are the front lat spread and the side chest. Martin beats him on the back shots for sure. Martin's complete. He's thick. He gets in a great condition. He was 4th place in the world at the Mr. Olympia and arguably could have been 3rd. I always throw that in there. So yeah, I'd be very surprised if Martin doesn't win this. And I know we got Akim Williams. We have Horse MD. We're going to end up getting some more people from this Romania show. They're going to spill over. I bet Rafael ends up doing it. He said he wasn't going to. He said on some Brazilian podcast the other day, because Miguel Chain, top bodybuilding journalist in Brazil, I'm in touch with him, and he said Rafael clearly stated he's doing Romania and then shutting it down until next year's Olympia. So his plan is win the Romania, which he's won before, and then show up again next year at the Olympia with, hopefully to win. Trailblazer will beat them popularity, but not physique. Rough. That's rough. Look at that shot, though. Oof, that is a great shot. Yeah, and people are. There's always conspiracy theories. People are saying, well, you think because Chris is so popular, they're just going to let him win, even if he doesn't deserve it. And I say no. No, it's not like that, guys. People try to read into the placings too much. They think it's about social media following now, or in the old days, it was like, who's your sponsor? And let me tell you guys, in the old days, I do believe the judging was corrupt many, many times. The sponsors had a lot to do with who won. People who were in better favor with the judges. We're going back like 20, 30 years. There was some shady crap that used to go down with the judging. And it's not like that anymore. And thank God. But so I don't think they're going to give it to Bumstead unless he is the best physique on stage that day. So what we're looking at here, that's not even what he's fully capable of. When was that posted, by the way? Let me see. I think this was back. Is that Martin in the background? Who is that? No, that's not Martin. That guy's way too small to be Martin. This is 2 weeks ago. Well, that was backstage, so that's obviously at the Olympia. So this is the flat version of CBum right here. Imagine this just fuller. See, if you can imagine this with 10 more pounds, a fuller version of this. When I give him shit about his chest a minute ago, his chest looks pretty damn great there. Yeah. Verse. There we go. Okay. Keep going. CBum can beat Martin in chess, maybe a racquetball. Well, we got to make it interesting. Knowing having been to as many shows I've been to, and we've never seen them together per se, of course, but we have seen these comparisons. Like I said, Chris will look better than we've ever seen him in terms of size, because we've never seen an unrestricted Bumstead, a Chris Bumstead with all the muscle mass that he's capable of showing. So we've only seen a depleted version. But he's starting to fill out. This was a week ago. He hadn't even announced it? Yeah, he hadn't even announced it. This is before he even announced it. This is a week ago. Because this is Friday. He announced it on Monday, and the internet got broken, remember? So let's go back to the comparisons between the two guys. Let's have something to talk about. So where were we? Maybe all these fitness broccoli head TikTokers will start doing open bodybuilding now. No, open bodybuilding, it's takes time to build that much muscle mass. And one thing most young people don't have, especially today, because things happen so quickly, they're used to everything getting quick downloads, quick this, quick that, instant messaging. They just don't have the patience to wait. So they would rather do men's physique or classic because it takes less time to build that much muscle versus building more muscle beyond that. It's the same reason the women's divisions, there are way more women in bikini and figure and even wellness versus physique, and certainly women's bodybuilding. Women's bodybuilding has by far the fewest amount of competitors of any of the female divisions because it takes the longest. Also, a lot of women don't want to get that big, but at the same time, it takes so long for women to put on that much muscle mass. They'd rather do a division like bikini or figure that, you know, I've seen women go from never even touched a weight in their lives to competing in bikini within a year or less. I've seen figure, a year or two of training, they get up there and they do figure. No woman, except some genetic freak, is going to go from never touched a weight to women's bodybuilding in a year. It just doesn't happen. Friday Live, that's us. I like shape and size, CBum arms. It's his biceps. His biceps they've never been that great. You know, they're not going to get that great. His triceps are pretty damn good. Biceps, not so much. Deer muscle Santa, let Flex Lewis come back in the open. Well, that'd be something, wouldn't it? Yeah, well, Trailblazer, I think he can be competitive here. I see him as definitely being in top 5. 10 pounds on top of what we see here of fullness. I don't think there's any way with Bumstead's amazing shape and structure, his conditioning, detail in the muscle groups. I don't think there's any way he's not in the top 5. But if we want to talk about him going to Olympia and being competitive and being top 5, top 6 guy, he's going to need, yeah, you say 30, 40. I'd say 20 because he has very small joints. And with that kind of shape, if he came in a little over 260, I think he'd be damn good. Of course, we'd love to see him huge and all that, 270, 280, whatever. But I don't think we're ever going to see that. The amount of time it would take him to add that much muscle, he's not going to do that in 1 year, as genetically gifted as he is. Samson was 300. Oh, yeah, Samson. I kept saying Samson was 6 foot, and a lot of people are adamant that he's 5'11". So I'm just going to agree with all the people who want to argue with me and say he's 5'11". How's that? So if Samson is 5'11", and CBum is 6'1" and some change, it's about a 3-inch difference. And CBum was 242 and Samson was 300. So it's almost a 60-pound difference. Say he was dressed at weigh-in and was 240. Oh, boy. So you would take off like 2 pounds for the shoes, for the sneakers and the sweats, I assume he was wearing. Oh, I didn't realize he was that light. I thought he was right at the limit. CBum doesn't have Asperger's. No, that's a form of autism. He has burgers. I think it's B. I've seen it spelled so many different ways. B-E-R-G-E-R and B-U-R-G-E-R. I've also seen it B-U-E-R-G-E-R. I don't know what the correct spelling is, but Burger's disease. It's a kidney disease. He was hospitalized with it like 3 or 4 years ago. I think he'll be heavier than that, Michael. So let's say if what you say is accurate, and I don't know if it is, because sometimes people say stuff here, it's not always accurate. Michael Hayes, I'm not calling you a liar. I just don't know for sure if that's true. So if he was 238, 239 when he weighed in, he probably carved up and he was probably in the low 240s by the time he got on stage. I still think he's going to be no lighter than 250 on stage here because he's had 5 weeks to rebound, eat more clean food, let his body grow a little bit, or not so much grow. It's just regaining muscle that he probably had. I think he probably lost a little bit of muscle the past couple of years to make weight. That's my theory. Health issue, but this is our fantasy team. Fantasy team. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Imagine when Olympia and Arnold pay out $1 million each, crazy money. Well, Trailblazer, I think we're very, very close to that. So Olympia was 600. Arnold was it 500 or they're bumping it up to 500? I think it was 500. I think it's a great thing that we're having sort of this bidding war. You know, who's got the bigger cash payouts, and the bodybuilders are benefiting, which is great because all these years we complained as bodybuilding fans, these guys don't get enough money. You know, we got Major League Baseball players signing these contracts for, $100 million, multi-year contracts, and bodybuilders, it takes them several big shows just to make $1 million. So this is great. I'm happy to see it. Popandal Vasily. I can't pronounce it. Walter, yes, I found out. This is a guy that. So Walter has a gym, and Walter's a pro, but he owns a gym, and someone ripped out the seat, ripped off the seat from one of his leg extension machines. Kicked out. He said he got upset fighting with his lady. Took him several tries. It was $250 for new, which he paid for. Good. So he's fighting with his lady, and he destroys gym property. What an idiot. What an idiot. Freak in no good sense. In a good sense, like Kim Chizevsky. Yeah, Kim was the first freaky female bodybuilder in terms of conditioning. She's the wife of Chad Nichols, who was Ronnie Coleman's coach and coached Big Ramy to his 2 Mr. Olympia wins as well. Used to coach Flex Wheeler as well. Chad was one of the OG coaches. I've been trying to reach him. I texted him for an interview, and he has not responded. So I'm really, really hoping that happens. What else is on his Instagram? Let's see if there's anything. I'll see what the latest update on Chris is, if he has one. So, nope. This is all right. So, banners, brand. So I'm just trying to see if Chris is showing anything. He says this was 6 weeks out of the Olympia. If my beard grows back next week, so will all the muscle I dieted off to make weight. So there you go. He says right there that he dieted off muscle to make weight. If that's true, that is true. I'm not doubting. I'm not saying Chris isn't being honest there. I do believe 5 weeks is enough time to get the muscle back that he lost. I mean, that's over a month. It's plenty of time. I just wish we saw anything in his stories that's current. It's probably just pictures of his kids for Halloween. Cute stuff. Protein pretzels. Okay. So if we go back maybe like 6 weeks before the Olympia, that would give us an indication of the kind of size he was carrying. When was this? So this was 14 weeks ago. No, but that's just a throwback picture. My bad. Anything from the gym, because those are all pictures from. So that was 18 weeks ago. Doesn't look that different to me. Doesn't look that different from what we saw at the Olympia right there. He's in a tank top. Yeah, I was hoping to find something where he's got the size that I think we're going to see at this Prague show, which he presumably had. So this was about 12 weeks out from Olympia, 13 weeks. So he does look bigger and fuller there, but he wasn't quite conditioned yet. Like I said, he's not going to be the biggest guy on stage. I mean, we got Akim Williams in the show. Akim is going to make him look small in terms of size. Let's take a look at Akim, because you know what? Why not? Akim's deserving of a good look. He's won some shows. He's been as high as 6th at the Olympia. And Chris is going to have to get past Akim to win this. So I know he's not in the thumbnail or the video title and description, but let's take a look at Akim. Okay. Yeah, look at those arms. I mean, Chris's arms are going to look very small next to those. I'm sorry, guys. No offense to Chris, but Akim's arms are just ridiculous. Legs too. His legs are freakish. One thing that he doesn't have in terms of a great body, his back is not it's not the best. He's got high lats, and you really can't do a whole lot if you have high lats. You can't. There's no way to bring those insertions down. They insert where they insert, just like any muscle group. But the front shots are crazy on him. The back shots are crazy. There's the side chest. He's got a great side chest. You see he's got the rock tape there because I believe he's got shoulder. He's had a shoulder surgery. He's probably dealing with a lot of shoulder pain would be my guess. But look at that side leg. Look how massive that leg is, and that ham drop, the glutes, the quads, the hams. Those splits there in the quad from the side. Crazy shot. His side chest is one of the best in the game. And so, yeah, when you're looking at these back shots, it looks pretty damn good, but it's just when you put him next to someone with better back. I mean, he's still got a better back than Chris. Of course, he's got, let's see. So Akim is probably about 5'10", I'm going to say. and he's around 260 on stage. So he's a much, much larger man than Chris is, because that's 4 inches shorter and 15, 20 pounds heavier. Yeah, Akim is a very thickly developed man. You know, I wouldn't. There's Fred Flitch. Look at those arms. I think Chris is going to beat him, but you know what? I'm not going to fall out of my chair or fall off my dinosaur if Akim beats Chris at this show. He's looked good. Anything posing? Yeah, that was from the Olympia. That's him at judging. And look, size-wise, he's hanging with Samson in terms of muscle thickness and density. He's every bit as thick and dense as Mr. Olympia, Samson. Some posing with Akim. We got anything better than that? I want the Gilco. I get greedy. I get greedy and I look for the Gilco footage because that's the best stuff. Once you've seen the Gilco footage, everything else looks kind of mid. Just not as impressive. I think we're going past the Olympia now. So I'll just leave it back there, the posing. Yeah, okay. Got some more comments. Current YouTube videos. Tyrant. I don't know if that was part 2 of a previous comment. Not really sure what that means to current YouTube videos. I don't think Clarida has any chance of beating Keon at this point, no matter what he improves. Keon looks freaking amazing. Keon has got perfect shape and structure. He's added plenty of size, and he still has room to grow. I think he was 205 at the Olympia, and that gives him another 7 pounds to play with. We could very well see him next year right at the limit of 212. And I believe 2, 3, 4 years from now, Keon will move to Open. I believe he will outgrow the 212 class, and he will move to Open. That's my prediction. But think about Akim's back. A good back, but now he never had a great back. It's come up a lot, and he's got really good thickness to it. You just see all that space there between the lats and the waist. He's got high lats, kind of like Dennis Wolf had. It's not a deal breaker. I mean, he's still won. I think he's got like 5 or 6 pro wins. He's been 6th place at the Olympia. He was 10th place at this last Olympia. He was top 5 in the Arnold UK earlier this year. So it didn't hold him back too much. Keon is now in a different league. Yeah, I mean, Shaun has built so much muscle on such a small frame. It's amazing. I give the guy all due credit and props, but he really can't put any. If he can put any more muscle on, I don't think he needs to, honestly. Yeah, Akim's arms, especially that in the frontal bicep, it's insane. Let me go back to that. He's got one of the freakiest frontal biceps in the game. Absolutely. Look at that. Look at that. Ridiculous. Side chest is one of the best in the game, too. Oh, is Emmer doing the show? Yeah. So Emmer's doing the show. He's very good, too. I don't know if Emmer is going to be able to beat Chris Bumstead. Emmer's very good, but Chris, yeah, I know Chris has not proven himself at all. He's totally unproven entity in the open division, the open class. But he's not going to do badly. He's not going to bomb out. He's not going to be like second. He will not be in the second call out or the third call out. This much I can promise you. So, yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So let's go back. Chris Bumstead versus Instagram. Let's stop that. All right. So I think I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going to wrap it up. Appreciate all you guys for joining me. Yeah. So let's get rid of that comment. All right, guys. So we still have a ways to go. We still have over 2 weeks before the EVLS Prague show. I'm sure a lot of us are going to catch the pay-per-view, so I'm not going to be there. My good friend Giles Thomas, I'm a little jealous. I'm very jealous. He's doing the pay-per-view commentary for the EVLS Prague show, which means he will be front and center, commenting on it with Lauren, and I think AJ is going to be there. I don't know. Whoever he's with. So I wish I was there. I wish I could see, because I strongly believe this is the last time anyone's ever going to see Chris Bumstead compete. I think he's done after this. I don't think he's going to keep going. I think he's going to ride off into the sunset. This is just something he said he was always going to do, sort of on his bodybuilding bucket list. I don't know if Sergio's coming back Trailblazer. I'm sure he will. I just don't know when. I interviewed him a couple months ago, and he was hinting. It sounded like the Arnold might be his thing. We might see Sergio Jr. at the next Arnold. I hope so. I mean, he's got a lot of unfulfilled potential as far as I'm concerned, Sergio Olivo Jr. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. What's this? Patrick Moore has been a disappointment. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about other guys. This is all about Bumstead. So that's it, guys. We'll talk again soon. But that's it. Appreciate you all joining in, being part of the chat here, staying with me, and I will talk to you guys sometime very, very soon. Thanks for watching.